Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we've got another TS128 on the channel. This one is the TS128 TS128. Before I go any further on this knife, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you guys the content. Now, let's go over some specs on this little guy. We have an overall length of 6.1 inches, a blade length of 2.5 inches, a blade width of 0.89 inches, with a blade thickness coming in at 0.157. Looked like a little chisel out of the box, but there's a little more to this than meets the eye. We have a handle length of 3.6 inches with a handle width of 0.79 inches to the narrowest point here, all the way down to right at 1 inch at the bottom. And we have a handle thickness of 0.51 inches. We have a frame lock with S90V steel, so a very nice steel on this little guy. Carbon fiber and titanium handles, titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip. You guys know the TS128 rundown is titanium and carbon fiber, everything basically. Running on KVT ceramic ball bearings with a weight of 2.82 ounces and a total price of right around $100. I think this was $100 even plus shipping from Amazon, so I think it was coming in at like $110. But not too bad. It's got the TS128 quality. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But let's get into some size comparisons. Let's start off with a couple little CRKTs. We have the Squid, and we also have my favorite, the Pilar, both with some pretty sweet custom micarta scales, and as you can see there, pretty good size comparison right off the bat. That's both of these. If you guys like either one of these knives, you're going to like this probably just as much. And now let's take a look at a couple other little higher-end budget knives. We got the CJRB Rhea. And we've got the CJRB Mini Feldspar. This is the Mini with the 3-inch blade. As you can see, both of these are noticeably, considerably longer than our little 128 here. And lastly, kick it up one more notch on the quality and gentleman carry type of knife. We have the Finch, model 1929. And we also have the wee banter from the one and only Ben Peterson. Now, there we go. This Finch is actually a decent little representation too, as well, as far as ergonomics. Rather close comparison there. Three nice little fifth pocket carries right there. Very nice, if I do say so myself. Big fan of all three of these knives, but today we're just talking about the TS128, and let's talk about this TS128. Very simple blade shape. Nothing too special. It's not really, I guess I wouldn't call this a drop point because the tip the point's not dropping down. So I don't know exactly what the correct term for this blade would be. You guys let me know, because I don't know at all. There's a lot of things I don't know. I don't go around saying it. But goes from crazy thick to crazy thin behind the edge. We have a edge coming in at 12 thousandths behind the edge, which is pretty insane when you look at the width of this blade, and it starts out, like I said, at 0.157, which is very thick for a small knife. It's very thick, and it goes down to the 12 thousandths, and I tell you what, it cuts pretty well. Not the sliciest thing in the world. A hollow grind would have made this knife absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. This knife really does, in my opinion, need a hollow grind, but as is, what you still have is a very durable, rather hard use fifth pocket knife. You have a very strong tip up here that is going to be able to handle just about any job you throw at it, and a nice edge, and backed with a very thick stock. So it has its positives and it has its negatives, but I think overall, it's a pretty attractive offering, considering there's not many like this. There's not a whole lot of knives with a blade quite like this one. So I really do like that. I like a small knife that's made to abuse. That's always good. And a very, very unique flipper tab with very nice jimping. We'll talk more about just how well that flipper tab works here in a second. But moving on to the handles and ergos. For a 3-finger knife, because this is absolutely a 3-finger knife, they're really darn good. They're really good. I like them a lot. It sits in my hand very well. No hot spot from the pocket clip. Now, this pocket clip, while it doesn't provide a hot spot, I had fits getting this into my pocket. So I'm not, as you can see, there's kind of just a really weird ramp there. Very little. Plenty enough tension, but there's just the entry into the pocket is not good. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. So be aware of that. Again, that's not necessarily make or break for me, though. I don't need to take my knife out and put it into my pocket in record time. I don't think it's the most important thing in the world, but it is an annoyance. I will say that it is an annoyance, but back to the ergos. The ergos are good. They're very, very good. Like them a lot. I like the I don't know if it's contouring or just kind of edging and milling, texturing on the ends here. Not even so much the texture, just the angle that they take off here. It helps it sit in your hand very nicely. And you do notice that when you have it in hand. It feels very good and like that a lot. Now, there's not much else to say about the handle and ergos on this guy. It's got your same regular, what I think is very good quality carbon fiber, and it's got titanium. If there's one drawback to Tucson is they're all kind of the same outfit. It's all titanium. It's all regular black carbon fiber. That's it. I think Tucson's next step in becoming a huge player in the knife industry, they're already a really big player, but to become huge, massive, and I mean, put them up there with, I tell you what, you could put them up there with Riot if they just start going outside of the box of their original materials. Stick with titanium, but throw in some micarta, throw in some marbled carbon fiber, some colored carbon fiber. Get creative with your materials because they already got the designs and the quality and the action. They're good there. The materials is what I think variety of materials, because probably should be specific here. They already have premium materials, but the variety of premium materials could get them up to the next hump in the knife world or industry or in the eyes of all the knife nuts out there. So just my opinion, but I think I'm right there. But into the action. Shakes shut rather easy and flies out like a little samurai sword. I don't know how to say that. That was kind of stupid. But the action's great. The action's great. And this flipper tab works very, very well because it has jimping that is done just right. It grabs your finger. It doesn't cut your finger, but when you put your index finger on this and push out, it's going. And it's going very well. And it doesn't really wear on your index finger much. I've deployed this blade a lot already. Like it a lot. And don't have an issue with the aggressiveness of the jimping whatsoever. The only thing that you do have to be careful of when deploying this blade is this lock bar here. I really wish the lock bar was a bit more narrow. It's very easy to put pressure on it, and when you put pressure on it, it's almost impossible to get the blade out. Like right now I'm doing this, and guys, I know that golden rule, don't ever put your finger on the lock bar. I know that. It just comes very natural for me on other knives. Usually don't have an issue with it at all, but this one, I realized, I think it's just due to the overall size of it being a smaller knife, and I mean, it's almost pretty much halfway going right down the middle of the knife. That's never ideal. I think it would always be a little nicer to have, that just be a third of the handle there. So you have a little more real estate on this end to put your fingers, or put, they have this pocket clip. Another nice thing they did with the pocket clip was they put it right on the line, which is, I think, the way that should always be done. So it's resting on the upper part of the frame up here. So you can press on this all you want. You can press on that, and it's going to come out just fine. And I think that's one of the reasons they did it, and that does really help. Once you know that and get used to that, you can, again, it's not a big problem. I had a much bigger issue with this from the get-go. I have corrected it since then, but it was definitely worth pointing out, something you guys have to know before you get this knife. But again, I don't think, unless you have really big, plump fingers and big hands, then it could be an issue. But if you have any type of, slightly large or just average size hands or small hands, not going to probably be an issue once you're aware of it. You can make the changes necessary, and it won't be a problem. I really love that tepe design, too. This is obviously a tepe design. I love his maker's mark. That's really cool. I like the wings. Don't have no problem with the blade branding there. I think that's really cool. I love the way TwoSun collaborates with other makers, and it's good. They pick the right talent to get with, and they do a very good job of it in representing that maker. Not a real big fan of the TwoSun logo, though. It kind of just big. Move it up farther on the blade or put it up here. I don't know. They did a good job of dulling this one out, though. The satin ones are really annoying because they're very noticeable. But I like the way this blade has a stonewash look, and the TwoSun logo blends in very well. So this one is really not that big of a deal at all for me, but the satin ones are a lot worse. But regardless, you guys know me. I always point out the blade branding with her. A lot of people don't care about it, but I definitely do. The devil's in the details for me. But again, back to this action. Very good. Very snappy. Shakes shut. Just another good offering from TwoSun. Great fifth pocket knife. Probably one of my favorite fifth pocket knives I've come across ever. I would say ever. Probably be on my updated list of top 10 fifth pocket knives. That won't be coming out till next year. I think what I'm going to be doing with top 10 lists just come out once a year. It's insane to bring them out any more than once a year. Maybe towards the end of the year when the other knives have come out, to give you guys a better idea of just exactly what's staying in my lists. But there's a very good chance this will be on that list when it comes out sometime next year. But that's it. That's what I got for this. Pretty happy with this knife overall. I wish it had that hollow grind. If it had the hollow grind and the better clip, I would absolutely love it. As is, I like it. I just like it. I think it's definitely a better fifth pocket knife for me than a primary knife. But what do you guys think? Who's had this knife? What are your thoughts on it? I'm not the first person doing this review, and it's not necessarily a brand new knife. It was just one that really stuck out to me, so I wanted to tell you what I thought on it. And as you can see, most of the thoughts are positive. Do you guys have a knife like this? So like this knife, like I said, I like it, but I want to love it. I just can't until they make that little change to the clip. Someday, I hope so. Who knows? They probably won't, though. But do you guys have a knife that you like, but if they just made that one change to it, it would be one of your favorite knives? It would be amazing. What knife is that? Let me know. I'm curious. I'd like to... I think even the manufacturers would be curious to hear that, too, because... if it sells, it sells. Who knows? Maybe you'll give someone an idea to bring a knife back. That would always be nice. Love to see another little improved model of this. But until then, I'm gonna hold on to this one because I do like it that much. That's all I've got for you guys on this one today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.